Hi, Rich Spezzano here, and welcome to another Copy That Thursday, number 5. So I'm going to attempt to copy the Blues Brothers poster right here. Some of you are probably too young to know Blues Brothers, but they were pretty famous in the 70s. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, I just pulled the Blues Brothers poster off of Google. You can Google it anywhere, and I'm going to lock it. And I will get a close-up right here of the hat. And this time I'm actually going to be using the pen a lot in this tutorial, and we'll see how that goes. So here we go. So I'm going to show you what I did last time. I'm going to click, click, click. I'm trying to get either a quarter of a circle or less. Never go more than a half a circle. Half a circle can give you problems. So I'm going like that. And what I mean by a half a circle is this is not a half a circle. It would have to go all the way around. So same with this. And you look for your points that you think would work. And since this is a little bit straighter, I might even do another one there. I probably should have done one there, and I can always change that. And this has a little bit of a curve in here. And I will be speeding up the video on a lot of these because once you see how to do it on one part, you don't need to be spending your time watching me do it again. This almost looks a little straight, but there's a tiny curve, so I'm going to do that and that. And that's good. So now I will go to, you know what, I will go to the node tool, and just because I did it here, I just want to be a little bit consistent. So I'm going to add another one right about there. And so they're close to the same. So with the node tool, all I have to do, not click, but just drag the lines like that. Bring this one down. And you should get a close-up. So as you're moving, you can see approximately what you need to do. Like that. And this has a little bit of an indent here. And maybe that can come out just a touch. And this one like this, but this should come out just a little bit like that. And that. And all I'm doing basically, it's an easy way to use the pen tool, especially for beginners. Once you get really good at the pen tool, all you have to do is as you're drawing, you pull the handles out. But I am not doing that in this case because many of you are just starting with these tutorials. So I'd rather keep it as easy as possible for you. And this looks pretty good. Let's see how we end up. And I think that's pretty good. So what I'll do now is up here, I will just do black. So we have a hat. Now let's back up. I don't know if the two hats are exactly the same. So what I will do is I will Control or Command J and duplicate it, and lucky us, it looks like they're the same. So that's perfect. So that was easy. That's the hat. Let's try and work on the sunglasses, which may not be so easy. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to select these two, group it, and say hats, just so we keep them in order. So now I am going to go back to the pen tool and get really close on the sunglasses. We could have also done one side and probably duplicated it because both sides look exactly the same. So that would have been another easy way to do it. And I think it's pretty good. So let's turn that black, color black. And let's look at from the further back. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'll stick with that. We still have other parts, so what I'll do now is I am going to take that and put it in the back so we can see the other details. I will add a new layer. I'm going to put it on top. So what I'm going to try and do is copy this. So really what this is I'm going to take a pen tool. I'm going to follow this outline. Remember, all this pixelation will not be there because we are doing more of a vector, and this is just a JPEG which I enlarged. So I am going to go from here. It looks almost like a little bit of fading here, and go like that. And I'll give it a little bit of a curve. Not much, just doesn't need it because it will fade. And maybe a little bit up here. There we go. And leave this looking like it's following the line up here. Maybe like that. That looks pretty good to me. And now what I'll do is I'll fill it with a gradient. Let's decide. One side is going to be this orange. And the other side is going to be a little bit of darker orange almost. Okay, and now we go to the gradient tool, and that's the colors. And what we'll do is, whoops, the dark one should be on the bottom, and the light one should be on the top. Ah, there we go. I had the one in front of it, so I couldn't tell. And I kind of think that's going to work. I think more of the darkness needs to be down here, so I'll bring that up a little bit like that, and maybe like that. And I think that looks pretty good. So let me bring the sunglasses back to the top, and let me bring this on top of it. And I would say that we have to fade it. We might even have to give it some noise, so let's fade it first. A little bit like that. And let's see what the real one looks like. Let's move this over so we could see. This is really pixelated, but ours will not be pixelated as much. So this is ours right here. And I might give it some noise, so let's just do add noise. And I'm going to leave it in, monochrome noise. So I'm going to just add a little bit of noise like that. And let's look at it from a distance. And that looks really pretty close to that one. So that I like that. So now let's turn this off. And they look almost the same. So I'm going to Control or Command J and duplicate it. And what I might do is fade one a little bit, because I see one on the bottom right here doesn't have as much if I turn it off. So I could go back to the gradient tool, and I can just add a little more black if I want. So far so good. And the only thing now I'm missing is these are just two little rectangles, and that's easy enough because we just need that. Let's get really close, and let's do a little rounded rectangle. And do it just like that, something like that. And I'm going to give that the same color. Let's see, color, I want that to have a solid color. So we're going to choose the color that was in there. One of these oranges. We don't want it to be as bright because it is sunglasses, it's just reflecting. So we're going to do that. And we will also put that on the other side. And so we're going to do Control or Command J and move that to the other side like that. And maybe move this just a touch like that. Okay, let's see what we look like. That's pretty close. So what I'll do now is I will take the sunglasses and group them. Right? That's one, and then I'm going to duplicate that, Control or Command J, and move that one to here too. So now we have the hats and the sunglasses. Now remember, the hats need a little bit of distress, but I'll do that afterwards. Next comes the ties. This is like a no-brainer. And now I'm also going to add a mask to that one. That's down here. I'm going to add a mask. And I am going to just see how I'm fading the opacity. I want to see underneath with a really soft brush on the mask. And then up on top I need some right here. And I'm painting with black just to fade this out. So if I hide that, that's what you see, and I think I did too much, so I'm going to undo that. Okay, so let's go into here again. Tiny bit on this one. There we go. And I might add some white back to the other one because I think I did too much, just like that. Okay, so let's turn the orange back on. So you know what I'm going to do, just so I could see what I'm really working with, I will make the orange background. So let's do that. And let's see, we're going to take a rectangle and we're going to follow this background, right? And we will choose the color is this one, and then I'll bring it back. And that's what ours looks like as of right now. So all I have to do is turn that on and off when I want to see the one underneath. And the lettering I will speed up. What I will do is maybe the first one, and then I'll speed up the rest just to show you. You know what? First I think I need to take all of these and group them so that I can hide it. Now we need to distress the hat. And it's going to be very hard to distress the hat while it's on his head. So what I will do, I think, is I will take the hat and move it to the side and show the other hat so I can see what kind of distress I need. Let's get a little bit of a close-up there. It's going to need a little, I think we need maybe a different kind of a brush. So maybe, let's see, sprays and splatter. And we could test these brushes out. And the way you can test a brush out is you can add another layer right here, a pixel layer, and see what it'll look like. Let's just do a black, and we go really small and see what that looks like when we hit it. And I don't think that's going to work. Let's try that again. Let's go really small. Well, that's not so bad. We can also test it by turning it to orange. So let's take the brush and go like this and pick this orange. And now if we were going to paint here, it's on a separate layer so we don't have to worry. This is what we would do, right? And how about we do a little here and a little bit here and a touch here, even smaller, and a touch here and a touch there and there and there. So we want this pixel in front of that hat, and then this hat we can move right there and we could see what we got. Okay, maybe a little bit more. We got to go back to the pixel layer, and that pixel layer is doing the distress, and make that orange again, and I think kind of a little bit more here. And it's hard to see unless you put the orange background in front of it. So so now as we do it, you could see what I'm doing. And I think there was a little bit up there, but I can't remember. Let's see. There we go. I'm just going to add a little bit up here. So I'm kind of fading here and there to just give it that same feel. There was a little fade here too, I think. And that's what it looks like. Now we'll do it to the other one. Let's go back over here. Okay, let's go see what we got. Now I realized when I was testing the other pixel layer, I left a lot of stuff here, and I didn't want to do that. So let me just go back and delete all that extra because I was testing the brush sizes, and that should be fine. Let's see what we got now. Let's turn off theirs and see how this is where we're at. So not too bad. And now the lettering, easily just type up here on top. And that's pretty close. And now this part is a little different. This is much more difficult. And I will do the first word, and then I will speed up the whole video just so you can see. You don't need to see me taking all my time on the other parts. So with the lettering, I'm going to just speed it up. You should take your time on all of this, but I'm just going to show you one. I'm not going to do them all. I'm just going to show you one section and then speed it up. So here goes. So it's very hard to see because these are very blurry from the pixelation. So I'm just going to basically, this is like almost straight, and it's going to kind of here, and it is going to here. It's going to kind of going to here maybe, and then straight up, and then here, and then straight up again, and so I did it very quickly, and so we can just kind of play with this a little. I think this one should have come down more, and maybe this one down more too, and like that, and like that. And I think that's the J, so let's see what it looks like in black. And let's go out, and that looks like the J. So they're all, if you notice, they're all kind of like, it looks rounded, but it's really not rounded because it's the pixelation right now. So I'll do the O, and I could use an O and then just convert it to curves. But in this case, I think it's probably easier to draw. I could widen it a little, like that, and then I will duplicate. I'm going to lower the opacity, and I'm going to duplicate Control-Command-J, and I will hold my Command key to bring it into where the other one was, and then again to this way, and then I'll bring this opacity back up and this opacity back up, and I will take the two, and I will go to Layer, Geometry, Subtract, and that's my O. So let's pull out. And the H is easy. I can grab an Arial, which I believe is an H, probably a bold. There we go. And then let's stretch it into place. This goes up, and like that, and this goes here, and that's what it was. And we might even be able to Control-Command-J and do an N. I don't know if it'll be the same N. You could try and find the font online, but I'm just giving you options here. That looks like the same N. So that's pretty good. So there we go. We have John. Let's try another one. Let's see the B. Pretty good, actually. Maybe this is Arial all along. And another one is going to be E. And the L is definitely going to be different, so I will do a Control-Command-J. I will do an L. So let's make it an L. Oops. Let's make it an L. And in the case of the L, what I will do is I will put it right here. In this case, we will convert it to curves. And when it's curves, now we can go to the node tool, and we can select these two and bring them down, and select these two and bring them across, and there you go. And now I'll take this one again, Control-Command-J, turn that to a U. Let's see what that is. And that looks good. And let's do an S now, Control-Command-J, and let's try S. They don't all work, but we can give it a shot. And that's not a bad S, I would say. I think we can get away with it. And then an H, we can pull the H from here. Ooh. What? And then this H, we can pull the H from here, Control-Command-J. Let's take the H right here, And what we'll do with that H is we will convert it to curves and then go to the node tool. How can that be? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here we go. And go to the node tool and then just bring that up like that. And the eyes, I could just do a rectangle, so I might as well just do that. And so I'll just hit a rectangle and go like that. And these are all black with no stroke. So let's pull out and let's hide theirs. And that looks pretty good to me. So this is where we're at. And I will very quickly do this side. And looks like, and I'm not going to put the dates and everything. I see no reason to do that for this tutorial. And I think it looks like we're done. So what I'll do now is I will take all of this, group it, and hide the other one. And let's see what we got. And there you go. I feel like this is a little too thin. Let me just see if I can change that text to a little bit of a bold, more of a bold. I'll just do that one. And I think that's better. I just saw an error when I just pulled out. That should say on a mission, and it doesn't. So I'm changing that to an O. And that's the finished product. And I hope you liked this tutorial. If you found it useful, I would appreciate you clicking like and subscribe. So I hope you have a great day. Bye.